Welcome to a roundup of the latest car, motorsport and sim racing news right here on Is It Fast? Today we talk about a brand new Toyota, how you can start to buy a car again in the UK, and how can we forget that the F1 driver merry-go-round has started again. We start this week with news from Toyota. They've announced this week that there will be a brand new 7-seater SUV available for the UK market, and it will be called the Highlander. The new Highlander will come with the i-Intelligent all-wheel drive system and will put out 241, it says here, brake horsepower. The fact that it's got all-wheel drive and how much power it puts out really shouldn't make any difference if you're going to buy a 7-seater SUV. The facts are it's going to be big, it's going to be comfortable, and it will come jam-packed full of toys to make sure that you and however many children are in that car are entertained and kept safe. News this week that you can now buy a car in the UK again. You can't get a haircut and you probably shouldn't ride a bus, but you can now click and collect a new car from dealers. Strictly distanced handovers are now allowed when you pick up your new car from dealers, but showrooms are not expected to open until at least the 1st of June, and of course possibly beyond. But if you have that itch that you want to buy a new car, it is now possible to go and grab it. Maserati. That is a name synonymous with motorsport. Another name synonymous with motorsport was of course the late great Sir Stirling Moss. Now, as a fitting tribute to Sir Stirling Moss, the new Maserati MC20's camouflaged livery has been adorned with a very special tribute to the great man himself. Motorsport news now, and we start with, well, how can we not start with Formula One and the driver merry-go-round. Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari announced this week that they would be parting ways. The four-time world champion will be leaving the Scuderia Ferrari team at the end of the 2021 season, and that triggered the driver merry-go-round that we all so enjoy in Formula One. So with an empty seat at Ferrari, what were all the other drivers and teams going to do? Well, thankfully we haven't had to wait too long this week to put some of the puzzle together. Carlos Sainz Jr. will be leaving his seat at McLaren at the end of the season to take up the vacant seat at Ferrari and partner Charles Leclerc in the 2021-2022 racing season. Of course, that leaves a big empty seat at McLaren. So who was going to fill that? Once again, we did not have to wait too long to find out who was going to fill the empty seat at McLaren. Our favourite Australian Daniel Ricciardo announced that he was going to leave Renault at the end of this season and make the hop, skip and a jump across to McLaren. That now means there is an empty seat going at Renault Sport Racing. We don't know who's going to fill it yet, but there are rumours abound that a certain Fernando Alonso could be making his way back to F1 to join the team where he won 2 titles in the early noughties. That of course is just a rumour, and we will have to wait and see who will be taking that empty seat at Renault and what other movements we could be seeing before the end of the season. Not a week goes by without the Extreme E Series making headlines, and this week they've announced another driver to their lineup. They've announced junior WRC driver Katie Munnings. That's right, the championship, who will be made up of teams with a 50-50 male to female split, have added this latest exciting driver to the lineup. Before we move on to where you can catch all the best sim racing across this weekend, we have news from another championship that has rescheduled their race season. The British GT Championship have announced that, all being well, they are looking to start their season on the 1st and 2nd of August at the traditional curtain raiser of Alton Park. It's going to be a very busy 3 months for the competitors in the British GT series this year, but at least now we do get a chance to see some of the prettiest and some of the fastest cars strut their stuff on racetracks this year. On to sim racing now, and there are a couple of very interesting and very exciting races that are billed to take place across the internet this weekend. This weekend we see the iRacing Indy 500 hit our screens on the iRacing eNetwork YouTube channel. After last week's thrilling round 3 at Monaco, Formula E make their return for round 4 of the Stay at Home Challenge. You can watch all the racing live on the Formula E YouTube channel to see these incredibly talented racers do their stuff in virtual reality. That's your latest news roundup from Is It Fast? Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to follow Is It Fast on your social media platform of choice to keep up with all the latest news and watch in-depth interviews with motorsport stars, as well as in-depth car reviews when we can go back out into the world.